කිරීම පිළිබඳව.
Honorable Ravi Karnanayaka.
I appreciate your encouraging the particular standing orders to butt in to a point that was irrelevant, but it was a matter that was important after Prime Minister mentioned. I hope the same sense of leniency would be maintained, because that's the sense of vibrancy that is required in the Parliament. So, Honourable Deputy Speaker, is it okay if I bring the 27.2 because I had a medical thing and I couldn't come in just 2 minutes before? Can I use the 27.2 because I know the matter is being answered? So if I can use it, I would greatly appreciate your...
Okay, Honourable Ravi Karnanayaka.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'm sorry for my mistake. It was a medical matter that I had. I would like to ask the following question from the Finance Understanding Orders 27.2. I wish to draw the attention of the government to a matter of urgent public importance concerning the proposed abolition of the simplified value-added tax, that's SVAT, system in September 2025 without ensuring a guaranteed and efficient refund mechanism for exporters. The government has projected an export revenue target of $19 billion. However, the removal of SVAT without a proper refund system could severely impact cash flows, discourage and create financial uncertainty among exporters, including SMEs. The lack of swift and transparent refund mechanism may lead to delays, increasing the cost of doing business and affecting the competitiveness of the Sri Lankan exporters in the global markets. Sri Lankan exporters have to compete in a region where all benefits are being given to the competing peer companies with a very low cost of capital and no administrative hassle. Honourable Deputy Speaker, these in light of President Trump, who is basically going on an anti-globalization approach. So these reasons why we have got to look at it and helping our companies to get to the international stage. In light of this, I seek the response from the Honourable Finance on the following. One, what measures are being taken to ensure a timely and guaranteed VAT refund system before abolishing SVAT? Two, evasion of taxes must be eradicated at all costs. However, in order to achieve that, feeling of equity and reasonableness must be demonstrated. When the tax refunds have become a major nightmare, do you think adopting this at this stage will be practical? Because this has been tried for the last 7 years. Three, has the government consulted key stakeholders, including exporters and the chambers of commerce, the SME chambers, on practical challenges arising from this decision? Four, given the government's expectation of earning $19 billion, which is excellent and it has to be done, how does it plan to mitigate the adverse effects of this policy change on exporters' liquidity and competitiveness? Will the government consider postponing the abolishing of SVAT until the efficient refund mechanism is fully implemented and tested? නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකතුමනි, 6වෙනි එක රජය විසින් මහා පරිමාණ සුළු පරිමාණ ව්‍යවසායකින් වෙත ලබා දී ඇති සහතිකයන් කවරේ වූවද වාණිජ බැංකුව විසින් ලබා දෙන පොලි අනුපාත ජාත්‍යන්තර වෙළඳපොළ තුල තබා කලාපය තුල පවරා තරඟ කිරීම අපහසුව කරවන ඉහළ මට්ටමේ අනුපාතය වේ. 7. අලෙවි ලක්ෂ්‍ය point of sales උපකරණ හඳුන්වා දීම. I appreciate this was brought in the budget by the finance minister, the president. හඳුන්වා දීම හරහා එකතු කළ අගය මත බදු අය කිරීම නවීකරණය කිරීම අවශ්‍යතා පිළිබඳව ජනාධිපතිවරයා විසින් සිය අයවැය කතා තුළ සඳහන් කරන ලදී. එසේනම් මේ ක්‍රියාවලිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වන තෙක් අපට රැඳී සිටිය නොහැකිද? 8. ණය අර්බුදයෙන් මිදීම සඳහා අපෙන යන ඉහළ නැන්වීම අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි. ඉතා ඉහළ සංස්ථාපිත බදු ඇතැම් වියදම් මත රඳවා තබා ගැනීම බදු ක්‍රියාත්මක සහ රට පවත්නා මූල්‍ය තත්ත්වය හේතුවෙන් අපනයනකරුවන් වෙත බදු සහන ලබා දී නොමැති තත්ත්වයක් අපනයනකරුවන් වෙත තරංකාරී තත්ත්වයක් ලබා දෙමින් රටේ දළදේශ නිෂ්පාදනය GDP වර්ධනය කරනු පිණිස වියදම් පාදක බදු සහනයක් හඳුන්වා දිය නොහැකිද? 9. ගෙවීමේ පැහැර හැරීම හරහා වසරකට රජය අහිමි වන ඇතැයි රජය අපේක්ෂා කරන ඇස්තමේන්තුව බදු මුදල් ප්‍රමාණය කවරේද? මෙය වූ කාලීන සහ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අපනයන ක්ෂේත්‍රය සහ සමස්ත ආර්ථික ස්ථාවරත්වය ඍජුව බලපාන කරුණක් වන බැවින් මේ සඳහා රජයෙන් කඩිනම් පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් අපේක්ෂා කරමි. බොහොම ස්තුතියි නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකතුමනි.
Honorable
ගරු නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකතුමනි,
රොයි කරුණායක මන්ත්‍රීතුමා ඉදිරිපත් කරපු 22 ප්‍රශ්නයට ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂ වෙනුවෙන් අපේ මුදල් නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍යතුමා පිළිතුරක් ලබා දෙනවා. නමුත් මම මේ වෙලාවේ ඉල්ලන්න කැමතියි මේක සම්ප්‍රදායක් කරගන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. මොකද ඔබතුමාගේ අභිමතයට ඉඩ තියෙන අතරෙම ඒ අභිමතය එක වෙලාවක පූර්වදර්ශයක් වෙනවා, ඊට පස්සේ ඒක සම්ප්‍රදායක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. දැන් අපි 27 අවස්ථාවක් ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වෙලාවේ අදාළ മന്ത്രിවරයෙක් ඉදිරිපත් කළ යුතුයි. ඊට පසුව කුමක් හෝ හේතුවක් මත මේ മന്ത്രിවරයා පැමිණ නොසිටියොත් අපි ඊළඟට මේ විදිහට දෙන්න වුණොත් එහෙම සභාවේ කටයුතු කරගෙන යන්න බැරි වෙනවා. දැන් ඊළඟ සතියේ මේ කවුරු ඇවිල්ලා වාචික පිළිතුරු අපේක්ෂා කරන മന്ത്രിවරයෙක් මේක කිව්වොත් පළවෙනි වටේ හිටියේ නැහැ. දෙවෙනි වටේදී මට මේක අවස්ථාව දෙන්න ප්‍රශ්න ඉදිරිපත් කරලා යන්න කියලා ඒක කරගන්න බෑ. ඔබතුමාගේ අභිමතය වුණාට ඒක ඊට පස්සේ පෝරාශය බවට පත් වෙන්න ඉඩකඩ තියෙන නිසා ඒක කරුණා කරලා මම වෙනවා සඳහන් කරන්න කැමතියි මේක සම්ප්‍රදායක් කර නොගෙන මේ අවස්ථාව අද විතරක් යොදාගමු කියන එක.
පූර්ව අදාශයක් කරගන්න අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නැහැ. නමුත් මේක මීට පෙර ඇති වූ දෙයක් තුලින්
All right,
තමයි
honourable member, we will not make this a precedence in the future.
We appreciate and maintain into the future as well. Because that's the parliamentary spirit that is there, whether it's from the UK Parliament or in the Indian Parliament as well.
Motion the commencement of public business. Honourable Gayantha Karunathil. Honourable Anil Jasin.
Thank you very much. මේ කාලීන සහය වගේම විශේෂයෙන් මේ දවස්වල විවාදයට තුඩු දුන්නු ප්‍රශ්නයක්. But before explaining what it is, we need to understand what is SVAT and the VAT as well. And first of all, I would like to mention that it is not a rehearsed decision to implement a SVAT system simply disregarding other things. And meantime, before answering, I would like to draw your attention on the budget speech on 2017. So where the finance minister has stated on page 85, para 460, I propose to remove the SVAT scheme as it could hardly be called simple. It has become redundant with an efficient and smoothly operational technology-driven VAT administration process brought about by IRD, Inland Revenue Department, automation system. A refund mechanism at ports and airports will be introduced, especially for foreigners. So just pay the attention on 460. අපි මේ පැරග්‍රාෆ් එක විතරක් ගත්තත් එතන පැහැදිලිව කියනවා ඒ වෙනකොට ඉතාම ස්මූත් රිෆන්ඩ් සිස්ටම් එකක් IRD එක ඉන්ට්‍රොඩියුස් කරලා තිබුණා. ඒ නිසා මම ප්‍රොපෝස් කරනවා කියලා. ඇත්තට මේක බොරුවක් ඒ වෙලාවෙම රිෆන්ඩ් සිස්ටම් එකක් තිබුණේ. මම මේ කියන්නේ ඇත්තට මේ සාකච්ඡා සමාජයේ එහෙම ගත්තේ නැහැ. මේ වගේ දේවල් කතා කරනකොට යට ගිහින් තිබුණා. එතකොට අපි එහෙම කරලා නැහැ. ඒ වගේම තමයි ඒකේ ටෙක්නිකල් නෝට් එක තියෙනවා 135 page number 135. Technical note එකේ value added tax system එකේ තියෙනවා SVAT system will be terminated. එතකොට මම කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම විශ්වාසවන්ත වෙනවා ගරු මන්ත්‍රීතුමාට මේ කාරණේ ගෙනීම. අපි එකවර අයින් කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. දැනටමත් ඒ අදාළ කටයුතු ටික සිද්ධ කරමින් යනවා, සාකච්ඡා කරමින් යනවා සහ අදාළ ට්‍රේනින් විශේෂයෙන් මේ සඳහා පැති දෙකකින් අපිට වැදගත් වෙනවා මේ පදනම තියෙන SVAT එක අපි අහෝසි කරන්න. මොකද SVAT සිස්ටම් එකේ තියෙනවා ගැටලු ගණනාවක් මේක මැනිපුලේෂන් සඳහා යොදා ගැනීම මේකේ ගැටලු. but අනිත් පැත්තෙන් as you just highlighted, so that would lead to the cash flow and the liquidity problem for exporters. So we have taken into consideration all those things. ඒ අනුව training දැන් අතන මේකේ එක පැත්තක වැදගත් වෙනවා capacity building. So we have just taken the technical assistance from IMF and other experts and training is being done. And technology. So as of now, there are certain things to be fixed and incorporated into this technological platform. So as a result, we have developed a plan. This plan, detailed plan will be introduced by the end of June, where with a simulation. මේක අපි ඉන්ට්‍රොඩියුස් කරන්න කලින් සිමියුලේෂන් එකකට යනවා කොහොමද රිෆන්ඩ් සිස්ටම් එක කරන්නේ කියලා. නිසා අපි ඒක සාකච්ඡා කරමු. මම හිතනවා මේවා ඉදිරියට සාකච්ඡාවට ගන්න එක හොඳයි. Yes.
Because I was a prime mover.
Just can I finish because
sure.
yeah, it's okay. That is regarding the basic the idea about refund system. And moving to another the point on the question number 7, the interest rates පිළිබඳ ප්‍රශ්නය, that is 8, right? Because may interest rate, sorry, number 6, despite the assurance given, then may ඇත්තටම මේ අපි කවුරුත් දන්නවා නේද, දැන් ඒක ආර්ථික විද්‍යාත්මකව මූල්‍ය කළමනාකරණයේ පැත්තෙන් එනකොට රටක පොලි අනුපාතය ක්‍රමිකව පහළ, ඒක බලහත්කාරයෙන් පහළ ගිහිල්ලා බෑ, ක්‍රමිකව වෙළඳපොළ බලවේග විසින් නිෂ්පාදනයේ වැඩිවීම විසින් පහළ යන එක තමයි හොඳ. එතකොට ඒ තත්ත්වය දැන් ටික ටික නිර්මාණයලා ඒකට අවශ්‍ය කරන ක්‍රියාමාර්ග මහ බැංකුවත් අදාළ මූල්‍ය අධිකාරීනුත් ගමින් ඉන්නවා. එහි ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදියට දැන් ඇත්තටම yield curve එක නේ, පළදා වක්‍රය අපි දන්නා පොලි අනුපාතයේ විශේෂයෙන් දකින්නේ ආයෝජකයෝ මේ yield curve එක දිහා බලලා මේ yield curve එක normal yield curve එකක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම අර්බුදයේ පැවතිච්ච කාලෙදී මේ yield curve එක turn upside down, ඒ කියන්නේ ෂෝට් දේවල් වලට විශාල ඉන්ට්‍රස්ට් එකක් ගෙවන්න ගත්තා. දැන් ඒක normalize වෙලා තියෙනවා, normal yield curve එකක්. ෂෝට් මැචුරිටි තියෙන එක 82 days 100 ඒ වගේ අවුරුදු දෙක වෙනකොට අඩු වෙනුත් ඈතට යනකොට වැඩි වෙනුත් යනවා වගේම පොලි අනුපාතය ක්‍රමිකව පහළට යනවා. දැන් 91 days වලට දැන් 7 point something ඒ වගේ ඉන්ට්‍රස්ට් එකකටත් පල්ලෙහාට අවිලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මම පිළිගන්නවා ඔබතුමා කියන කාරණේ, බැංකු පද්ධතිය ඇතුලේ පොලි අනුපාත දැන් මේ මහ ජනතාවට ණය දෙන පොලි අනුපාතේ ටිකක් වැඩි. ඒකට ඇත්තටම මහ බැංකුව මැදිහත් වෙලා මොනිටරින් කරනවා. සමහරවිට ඒකේ අඩුපාඩු තියෙනවා, අපි සාකච්ඡා කරමු. මොකද රාජ්‍ය බැංකු පද්ධතියක් තියෙනවා, මූල්‍ය අනිත් බැංකු පද්ධතියක් තියෙනවා. මේවා අතර ඒ විධානයේ දීමක් මම හිතන්නේ සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ තාමත්. මේ කටයුත්ත ඉදිරියේදී අපි සාකච්ඡා කරන්නට වෙනවා. මේ මොනිටරින් මෙකනිසම් එක අපි පිළිගන්නවා. වෙළඳපොලේ ණය සඳහා පොලි අනුපාතය වැඩි, නමුත් ණය ගැනීමේ ආණ්ඩුවේ සහ yield curve එක සාමාන්‍ය මට්ටමකට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට SVAT එකට අමතරව තවත් ප්‍රශ්නයක්, මේ SVAT ආශ්‍රිතව 9 වෙනි කොටස, දැන් මේ VAT estimated tax evasion that the government is worried that will be lost out per year. අපි කවුරුත් දන්නවා මේකේ inefficiencies තියෙනවා, so there is a leakage. නමුත් we are not planning as of now the SVAT system or the refunding system by anticipating that this much would be evaded. Because if we plan for the evasion first, what happen automatically system also would drive to evade that. The system would, so that would be an implication. So therefore our planning is to have the zero, the avoidance, but we know that due to practical reasons we may not be able to go for, planning is different. So in a very efficient tax system and in a responsible the society, it is the responsibility of everyone to pay taxes or the due taxes. And if you just create an environment where everyone is trying to evade or avoid taxation and the authorities are trying hard with the weapons or the tools that they have to catch it, it would be a struggle and always there would be a leakage. We are not planning for such a situation. We are planning for high vibrant and democratic, transparent tax system. We know, we understand that it would take the time, Honourable Minister. So this is how we are planning. And again, I would like to say that we are not going to abruptly introduce a SVAT system unless and until we ensure that the refund system is smoothly working. For that, we are planning because the technology is brought up without which we can't do this thing. You know that in the value-added system, the tax system is more efficient compared to the rather turnover tax system where there is a cascading impact. So to avoid the cascading impact, in order to implement SVAT system vibrantly, we need to connect all the value added, all the players into the system. As of now, it is not. Only selected, registered players are there, but gradually we will move towards that until we implement a very extensive system. So that is our idea and the plan, and working with all the agencies. And as you just highlighted another point, the stakeholder consultation, not only the exporters and the taxpayers. So we are having consultations with other stakeholders as well. මේ සියලුම තත්ත්වයන් සැලකිට භාජනය කළ ක්‍රමිකව සහ පාරදෘශ්‍යව මේ වැඩේ කරමින් යනවා. අපි දැනුවත් කරනවා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවත් සියලු දෙනාට.
Honourable Ravi Karnan.
Appreciate the very practical answer. This is what I was getting to. Remember when you quoted what I had mentioned, we were all in that prospective approach that Asikuda would be in and it will link up the 34 government institutions. But Honourable Minister, the situation I basically advise to you is that the officers don't work in the speed that you and I would like to work. And that's the reason why I said at that particular moment this has been an attempt that was made for about 7-8 years. Evasion is there. And I know that it is a laudable step. But the point of sales approach that the President addressed in the budget speech is what you've got to take it forward. The other one is when you're competing in a region which the interest rates are 3 to 4%, our competition basically has a 10 to 11% cost of capital disadvantage. That's the reason why that trying to put a further bureaucratic process would only deprive our exporters to compete in a already difficult circumstances. So it was more proactively approaching, because I know for a fact, being in the industry, that this is a Herculean task. And you set about the answers correctly, but let's get together and ensure that we put this into place. But the point of sales approach, if you can put this into place tomorrow, you have a quick refund system in place. So I appreciate, but let's work together. But as you quite rightly said, SVAT will not be implemented until there is a firm refund mechanism is the answer that is required. But saying September and saying IMF mandated is not the answer. But I will, with all authority I say, IMF is a way forward. But they can't be dictating, you take the policy and take it forward. So while that's the correct step I mentioned without any hesitation, please ensure. And the other approach is central bank does monetary policy, but they also must follow government policy as well. If you want 5 trillion to be the to be our incomes that's going to come, and if you have 17 to 18% interest rate, you will never be able to have a 5% growth and grow the economy to what is expected in another 10 months, that's the end of this year, financial year. So that's the spirit I brought this about. Being an exporter, having problems, please ensure that you have a practical approach like the answer you gave. So SVAT will only be done with a guaranteed refund. I appreciate.
Thank you very much. Shall I first answer to this one just to further finish this clarification?
Yes.
Because otherwise the idea would go. In fact, the member, I would like to mention that it is not a dictation from the IMF. Because when we work in a kind of collaborative work, so we are working with a program now. When the program is there, actions are taken, benchmark are there. So this September is a new structural benchmark, and it does not mean that it is something that we have to do compulsory. In that particular benchmark also very clearly stated that we have to establish a very good refund system, then only we would move. In any case, so due to some other reason, unavoidable reasons, there may be situation we would not be able to implement. If that is the case, we have the room to discuss, because we would negotiate. Just to point out, yesterday the President had a discussion through Zoom with the Managing Director of Kristalina Georgieva. So she also just stressed, reaffirmed its support to continue and the effort of reviving the Sri Lankan economy even beyond this IMF program. So that is that. And in addition, referring to your Asikuda, the matter and the point of sales and e-invoicing, of course, bringing the technology to have a very good the system for VAT refund, of course, we need to go for point of sale machines and e-invoicing. Basic initials, discussions or works are being already done with the consultation with all the stakeholders. So thank you very much for your the constructive ideas. We will work accordingly. Thank you.
Honourable Minister, are you willing to take that?
Clarification on the same thing. Small clarification.
Honourable Suji.
Honourable Minister, you said that the directive cannot be given by the central bank on interest rates and other stuff which takes decisions taken by the banks. The central bank governor also said that they can't. No, can I? No.
Yes, the lacuna in the monitoring system. Of course, the central bank is authorized to direct the banks and financial institutions. They are doing. We know that this is not something that happened all of a sudden now. So this has been seen in the past, the previous time as well. So it is gradually being monitored, the member. And you know that there is a time lag. When these statutory rates and the policy rates are announced, the banks will not adjust accordingly. Of course, the government, the state banks banks may adjust, but the other banks may not adjust. To some extent, the central bank can do this thing. On the other hand, we strongly believe the proper mechanism, market mechanism, the demand for money and the supply and the revivation of economic activities would do the rest. So it has to go in the hand in hand, the parallelly, I suppose.
Thank you. Honorable Bank, the central bank governor stated that they can't give directives to the private banks or any other bank. They can only kind of guide them. So what is the actual status of it? And we want to know that just to get a clarification on that. Whether you all have the power to direct the central bank or central bank has independent powers to take their decisions and they cannot maneuver the other banks.
Actually, we need to get a detail from the central bank, what measures and tools that they can. Basically, so they are supposed to monitor, but in case if it is needed, some directives also would be given, because sometimes some the financial institutions are also like the given directions not to engage in that and this. Especially when it comes to the interest rates, what the central bank does is very closely monitor the specified the policy rates. But of course, we admit the fact that there is a gap between the policy rates and the current interest rates. So as I just highlighted, these the parallel actions, government and especially the central bank monitoring actions and the economic revival would restore the problem. As of now, things are going very well. As I just told you, this particular yield curve, normal yield curve, is a very good indicator for investors to look at how the economy is driving. So we need to maintain this particular price and the financial system stability in the longer run. This is our one of the objectives to continue with the economic revival. Thank you.